Hi guys, this is Taiwanda Basin, the border breaking specialist of TaiwandaBasin.com. And today I want to come on to talk about a little bit what's been going on. In the past couple of weeks, we've been hearing about this Muslim ban that President Trump has decided to put into place for certain people coming from certain countries based on their religion. Now, while President Trump is not liked by a lot of people, I still respect the office of president. However, I do not agree with some of the things that he's done, especially this Muslim ban. Which I think is pretty much out of ignorance. A lot of times when people don't understand something, it turns into fear. Instead of trying to understand what it is that they don't, they decide to fear it and to act out in ways that are really not acceptable. And this is something that I feel is not acceptable. So I want to do my part in trying to bring some light to some of the fears that people have about Muslims in general, going to the Middle East or Muslim predominant countries, because I've actually lived in a predominantly Muslim country, and I've been to other countries that are also majority Muslim as well. So instead of complaining about it, which a lot of people do, complain about situations, I choose to do something about it, to do the little bit that I can do. And something that I feel I can do is to help you understand some things that you may not understand. Maybe there are questions, or maybe you do have fears about Muslims or Muslim countries or the religion itself. So, having lived in one of the strictest Muslim countries in the world, which is Saudi Arabia, which is considered the birthplace of Islam because Mecca is there. And if you know anything about Islam, you know that most Muslims, the majority of them will try to make their trip there for Hajj to visit what they call their holy land, which is Mecca. And so having lived in Saudi Arabia and actually worked there and being among the people and also meeting other Muslims when I've gone to other countries as well, I want to help you to understand some things. So I invite you, ask your questions in the comments below. If you have any questions, any fears that you feel are unanswered, drop them in the comments below. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top 5 questions, and then I'm going to make another video later where I address those questions to give you some answers to what it is that you don't know. Because the first step in fighting our fears is to dispel the ignorance that is there. A lot of times the fears that we have are really not even real. They're based upon things that we just think in our minds because we are unaware of something. We don't know something. So I want to do my part in helping educate others so that we can get past this fear that we have. And hopefully this Muslim ban that has been enacted, it won't be prolonged. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping, because one of the concerns that I have is that for those who have been banned from coming to the U.S., or if they leave, they're not able to get back in, is how that makes them feel about us as Americans. And I have several friends who are Muslim, and I can only imagine how they must feel about this, especially the ones who live here in America. And the other concern that I have is that we have many Americans that are actually living in some of those countries that have been banned from allowing the immigrants to come to America. So I'm wondering how it's going to affect them. Was that thought about? Because we know that there's a history of cases where the U.S. was pretty strict on immigrants coming from certain countries. They had lots of hurdles and hoops to jump to get here. And those countries, some of them at least, decided to make it more difficult for Americans to get to those countries. So that's one of the things that I'm concerned about. Was that thought about? How will it also affect the Americans that are abroad in these countries? So don't forget, go ahead and drop your questions or your fears that you have in the comments. And I'm going to choose the top 5 questions, and I'm going to address those in a later video. So thank you guys, and I just encourage you, be the change that you want to be, and don't let fear stop you from going after your dreams.